Hi, my name is Reiley, and I'm a PhD student at Johns Hopkins University. So I love robots, and for the last 50 years, robots have pervaded film and TV and have started to move into our everyday lives. We've started seeing them in factories working on assembly. We've seen Google's car driving autonomously on the streets, and we've started seeing them in social settings such as actors and entertainment. Bill Gates in Scientific American has stated that there's going to be a robot in every home by the year 2013. So here's last month, if you guys were keeping up with Jeopardy, you see IBM's Watson beating out Ken Jennings and winning the $1 million prize. And his next career move was to go into healthcare, looking at diagnoses for treatments. So I love this quote. It says, "The future of surgery is no longer about blood and guts, it's about bits and bytes." So robots in the operating room and in the hospitals have different issues. There's sterilization, FDA approval, high costs, and people's lives are at our hands. So you can kind of see this interaction between robots, healthcare, and artificial intelligence. And I'm fascinated with this idea of teleoperation, which means that you can go to a master's console and operate a robot which is hundreds of thousands of miles away. You can think of this in terms of disaster relief. So I started my interest in healthcare and robots back in high school, and I used to volunteer for 4 years at the hospital trying to figure out ways to help people. In an undergrad, I used this idea of teleoperation and was working on places where people couldn't go. So I was looking at underwater robots or space robots, and decided eventually that I could make a huge impact in surgical robots. So I got my master's, and I'm finishing up my PhD working on surgical robots. So where are we now in terms of teleoperation in healthcare? In 2001, the first transatlantic surgery was completed where the surgeon was in New York and the patient was in France, and it was done successfully, a gallbladder surgery. So now you could see that there's a huge evolution in terms of how surgery has been changing. Minimally invasive surgery means that a surgeon can cut small keyhole incisions, insert instruments and a camera, and it's great for a patient because now you have less scarring and a faster healing time. But it's hard for a surgeon because now you have lost the hand-eye coordination. There's a 2D monitor somewhere far away, and you're operating through chopstick-like instruments. Da Vinci's Intuitive Surgical's Da Vinci surgical system has made it very intuitive for a surgeon. So now they have 3D vision and wrist-like motion. And now we're kind of starting to see this advancement towards natural orifice surgery. So why even have any incisions or have less incisions? You can operate by sticking snake-like instruments down someone's throat and performing that surgery. So how do you combine intelligence of humans with robots? I see 3 levels of assistant. There's awareness, augmentation, and automation. With awareness, you can insert additional information like graphics. And in the operating room, it's very crowded. You have nurses, doctors, equipment. They've got to all start talking to each other and having some sort of contextual awareness. Aid Network provides wireless patient monitoring where it sends information back to the surgeon and the nurse's console through a PDA. And at Johns Hopkins University, there's a project called No Instrument Left Behind, where there's RFID chips inserted in every piece of equipment in the operating room so that mistakes like this don't happen. For my master's thesis, I worked on force sensing instruments. So we added force sensors on the patient side and was able to visually display force information to the surgeon to kind of reduce the surgeon's cognitive workload. In our lab, Nicholas Padoy, who's a postdoc, has done a Connect hack. I'm sure you guys have seen these things. This one allows a surgeon, or allows a user to operate the Da Vinci surgeon through hand gestures, and I think that's really cool. And robots don't have to just be used as tools. They can be used as companions and friends. So these are commercial systems. You have a virtual doctor who can stroll into every room. You have Autumn, which is help for weight loss. And you have Keep On, which can help with kids with autism as well as the elderly. So if robots are the future, we've got to start training our kids today. So my first tip for you guys is to enroll your kids in the robot-like competition. We have First Robot and the JHU Robo Challenge, which I helped design 5 years ago, and it's very local. The second tip I have for you guys is to step outside your comfort zone. Great things happen at the intersection with engineering. So Here's me performing surgery on a pig. So I would invite you guys to come visit Hopkins and kind of see what sort of interesting collaborations we can have. Feel free to visit my website at creiley.com or visit my Twitter page. Thank you.